Now, I've got one more job to do today before I'm going to call it a day, go in, have a shower, wash my hair because it's disgusting, and watch some nice telly. Been watching a series called Landman recently on Prime, I think it is. Brilliant. It's got Bad Santa in it. Man, he kicks ass. He must be pretty brave to have taken on that woman of his. They're divorced now, but jeez, what a handful. I feel sorry for the daughter, to be fair. Anyway, so you might recognise these. This is that primary sheave holder for a 700cc ROV. Can't tell you the brand. And this one is for the 850cc ROV of the same brand. Can't tell you the brand. And they work brilliantly. And there are now lots and lots of these all over New Zealand at lots of workshops. And the feedback that I've had is, hey, I know they're simple, Andy, but I'm really pleased you got around to making those because they're brilliant. They save us a lot of time in the workshop and it's peace of mind. We can torque the nut up properly now. Ping! That's a win for me. Well, there's more. There is. Incidentally, I found out that the one for the 700cc ROV, can't tell you the brand, also fits the 700cc ATV. Wow, that's a win. And it also fits the 550cc ATV as well. Pretty cool. There is an old 660cc ROV that it might fit, and an older 700cc ROV that it might fit, but I don't know if it does or not yet. I'm waiting to hear back from the techs, because I haven't had a chance to try it on one of those. But if it does, that means that this one tool fits loads of different models, which is really cool. However, there are, even if it does all of those, there's still a couple models left that I need to make similar tools for. And this one looks a little bit different, look. It's only got sort of locating teeth in a couple of places, not all the way around. And there's a reason for that. On the primary sheave, there's a tin cover that goes on with an O-ring, and that's to hold all the grease in, and it doesn't really act as a stop, it just holds the grease in. That's all it's there for, stop the grease coming out, right? But it has a little lip on it which helps, a little radius, so it flaps out at the edges, and that helps you to get the O-ring into position. But the diameter on that, the outside diameter of that little flap that's folded into the metal plate, is quite a lot. And it's larger than the diameter of the base of the teeth, the lugs that run around the outside of the casting. So you can't get this tool over the top. It's just impossible. We're like 3mm the wrong way. So I had a prototype made, and oh, it's got some nice, really cool lettering on as well. Look at that. You can read that or not. It's got my email address at the top, and then it tells you some stuff down the bottom. And on the handles, it tells you, what's it say on here? It says Primary Sheave Holding Tool, and it's got my part number. So the part number for this new one will be AM Andy Mechanic ST Special Tool 003. Pretty cool. And then it'll also tell you what models it fits on the handle, and on the new ones it'll also tell you the torque settings of the nut for each model. Wow! So you don't have to look in the manual anymore. It's not just does the tool hold the primary sheave in place while you torque up the nut, it also gives you all the information you need as to what torque setting that nut should be set to. Anyway, the problem is, obviously, this doesn't fit. I can't show you the primary sheave that this is going to be working with because it's made by a brand that I can't show on the channel. So you'll have to imagine it. I'm really sorry. But the plan of attack is, just to fill you in, what we're going to do is I have to cut this in two places, and we're going to make it so that it pivots just above one set of teeth. So that set of teeth will pivot out like this, and then down here I'm going to have it so that you've got like a 90-degree piece that sticks out on this piece, on the pivoty piece, and another 90-degree piece that sticks out on this piece, so that when they come together you can clamp them together with a pair of standard mole grips. I was thinking about, you know, we could use, you know, nuts and bolts and wing nuts and things, but it's going to be quite fiddly getting all that tightened up in situ. Pair of mole grips, adjust them up, click, done. It's quick, isn't it? And you, as a tech, you need things to be quick, and every tech has a pair of mole grips, vice grips, in their toolbox. So you would just offer this up, you know, close it down, and then clamp your mole grips on, turn the sheave till this bit hits the bottom, hits something metal, probably the on an ATV it'll be the one of the footwell outriggers on that particular model, so that'll hit against the outrigger, and then you can put your torque wrench on the nut which is in the middle, and then click click, away you go. And then you can undo the mole grips and pull this clean off. So that it's got to be quick, and it's also, it has to be accurate. There can't be any possible chance of it slipping, because that's the whole reason why these tools are being designed. I'm designing them, is to eliminate the original tool which did slip, and it was a problem because people would hurt themselves, and then they stopped using it, so they just use the impact wrench. So I've got to cut into this. It's only a prototype. We can cut it, we can mess around with it, we can do all sorts. Best get on with it because tea's not too far away. Used.
You don't paint something without warning.
Honestly. Okay, I'm going to need some more of this section here. And of course, you know, I can't just laser cut some because all that's in Auckland. So I'm just going to, and it's only a prototype, so it doesn't have to, it's only proof of concept. It doesn't have to be super nice. So I'm just going to score the inside. Oh, that was nice. And the outside. There we go. Okay. Look at the state of my mole grips. I was doing some fabrication work, and that was a welding splatter, and I haven't cleaned it all off, and it's absolutely horrible to use now. I think, Andy, you might have to buy some new ones. Okay, so I just need to basically cut this bit out and grind it on the linisher to something like, and then we can use this to make the two little link bars which will form the hinge. That'll do it, Gromit.
What are you doing?
Well Ben, I'll show you. Come over here. Let me hear your properties. Good to get that off. Okay, so this is the prototype for the primary sheave holder for the 450 variant ATV from the brand I can't talk about.
Yep,
Yep.
that brand.
Okay, that brand. Okay, now the problem is on the sheave there's a tin plate that goes on the end, and it has a slight radius on it to help feed the O-ring in when you put it on.
Yeah.
And the diameter of that tin plate is essentially too big to get the tool over, because obviously the inner diameter of the tool is dictated by where the bottom of the valleys of the lugs on the sheave. So there's a negative clearance.
Yep.
Right? So I have to, on these teeth here, put a pivot so that they hinge outwards.
Yep.
Right? So you hinge it out, you get it over the sheave, because it'll clear the sheave around these bits because there's no teeth.
Yep.
And we've done that deliberately. So you have a hinge here, you hinge that out, put it on, hinge it back, and then on the bottom of this one there'll be a 90-degree bit sticking out.
Yep.
And on the bottom of this one there'll be a 90-degree bit sticking out. Now remember, these two pieces will be separately laser cut, so you can do that.
Yep.
And then once you've hinged it into position, you just put a pair of mole grips on there, click click, to lock the circle together and to grip onto the sheave.
It's going to make the manufacturing cost of your tool more, though, isn't it?
It is.
You've now got 2 laser cuts and 2 bends.
Yes. And the little pieces that make up the hinge as well. So this one will be more money. But the other ones are actually too cheap for what they are. The feedback that I've had from those that have purchased them, and we've sold about 40 now, 45, is, oh, is that all they are? $100? That's way too cheap. So this one's probably going to be about 140, 150.
Yeah.
But we also, I'm considering having made out of stainless steel, not mild steel. And the reason for that is my laser lettering will look a lot nicer. But I won't need to paint them either. And I don't paint them anyway, so it just means that I'm going to look at the cost, the difference in cost between the stainless and the mild steel material. But at the moment, all I'm concerned about is the prototype, making it work and making it work reliably, and where it'll continue to work in 10 years' time, i.e. it doesn't want to wear too quickly.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm making the little side plates out of 6mm plate, and there'll be one either side. It'll have a plate either side of it, so it'll be nice and strong, and there's plenty of clearance on the sheave for that. And then the rear side, these will be tapped M6 or maybe even M8 for the bolts, because there's no welding.
Yeah. You know, this could be a little bit more simplified. Because your tolerance is so tight, it's only a tiny bit that it's fouling on, isn't it? It's like 1 mil or so.
Are you thinking about just relying on the flex of the steel? I did think of that.
Just have it, make it ever so slightly bigger than it needs to be, this internal diameter.
And then just click, click.
Yeah, and it'll just spring, because it's a large radius for it to spring over. It's going to take a very long time for it to fatigue.
That might be an option.
Because then there's no hinge.
That might well be an option. So maybe I should get him to do me a prototype like that. The only downside is the clicky click, because it'll have to have the 2 bits and the mole grips, right? It has to have that. It's got to be a really tight clamp. They won't be able to be laser cut from the same sheet, because you can't make metal because we're already using that piece of metal for the other half. So yes, you can put a line across it, but no, you can't have your folds.
Unless the folds weren't actually on this, and you just had, when you laser cut it, a tab at this, it then gets bent 90.
It needs to be on that plane for your mole grips to clamp it that way, because you're trying to bring the whole thing together, aren't you? Oh, you mean just clamp it from the top?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to have a nice flat pad, but that would work.
And it'd be cheaper and easier, less moving parts.
Yeah. I've got to have a think about that, haven't I? Okay, work in progress. Hence why it's called prototype number 1 of Special Andy Mechanic Special Tool 003. There might well be a prototype number 2. We don't know. He's a clever lad. I did think about we're just relying on the springiness of the metal. However, it won't work. Don't tell Ben, but it won't work because, of course, you've got the teeth have to go into the grooves. And that wouldn't happen just by that small amount of movement. That's why the hinge needs to be as close to the teeth as it can be, to bring those teeth in almost perpendicular to these surfaces here, so it'll actually lock in and grip. That's my plan, and I'm sticking with it. But he made a very valid point. He's a clever lad. Right. What I need to do is mark where the hinge is going to go, drill all the holes, cut my little pieces out of this donor piece to go in here, drill everything, and then once the hinge has all been drilled, cut the ring. And that, because these have to stay in relatively exactly the same position, otherwise they won't line up on the sheave. Very important, Andy. Don't forget that. Okay, so it's getting late. We're not going to get this finished today, but we're doing well, and I'm quite impressed with my linishing. Look at that. And we're not going to use the whole piece. This is a donor piece to be chopped up, but it came out pretty well. And like you know, oh, look at that in there. It's nice, isn't it? That linisher does a really good job. Obviously, you know, a bit of skill as well, right? Anyway, it's too hot for a hat. Apologies. You get to see my, you know, receding hairline. But no, it came out really well. Very nice. Very, very happy with that. Yes. Okay, anyway, we digress. So, to the bench. Let's mark things out. What could possibly go wrong? Ooh, we're running out of time now. I'm not going to rush, but we'll see how we get on. So I just need to measure how wide this is to find the centre line. And we are completely the wrong ground, aren't we? Let me measure it on this bit here. There we go. So it's an ambiguous 16.35 millimeters. So about 8.2 is the centre. Okay, so we'll just set that to 8.2. It'll all get sorted out when it's drawn up on the CAD. So let's not worry. It's going to be near enough for a prototype. 8.2. Look at that on the nail. Very nice. Okay, so Mr. Hinge is going to go around this area, somewhere around here. I'll just put a little dot. I don't want to go mad because I've got to mark that thing up. So if I now score around the centre line on there, doesn't look very central, does it? What's going on there? It's not. Let's just bring it down a bit, maybe 8. Let's try 8 mil. Let's try that. That looks better. Right. Don't ever use your verniers like this. These, jeez, get a bit blunt now. They've done this for years, and it's about time I bought a new set, really. Right, there we go. That's the line from both sides. There we go. Gives us something to play with. Okay, so where is the pivot going to go? Well, do we put it here, or here, or here? I mean, we've got a welder. We can change things if we need. I don't want to put it too close to the teeth. Like, if it was here, I think it would be a problem. I think if we do, we're going to have... I think the break needs to be about there. That's where we intend to cut the circle, and obviously it'll be cut again on the other side of the teeth here for where it actually is separated. We'll worry about that later on. That doesn't matter too much where that is, but this is quite critical, this pivot point. So there's going to be, in fact, let's do a drawing. That's what we need to do, a prototype drawing. Okay, a bit of scrap cardboard. So, might as well trace it, make it look something accurate. Poor old bench is getting a bit full up. So if I just do that, and then draw around the teeth, just to give you an idea, a couple of teeth, that'll do, and draw around this side. There we go. Okay, now you get an idea. So we've got the centre line coming down. that we've now marked out. Very important. And we're going to be cutting, and obviously, well, we'll mark the cut line here. Obviously there's no drawings on here, no dimensions. So that's going to be our cut line. We'll just extend it out so we know it's a cut line. And then eventually these pieces will have a radius on them. So we need to drill a hole. I think we can get away with an M8 that would make it nice and strong. So we can use an 8mm bolt. So we'll need an 8mm hole. So we need to have really at least 5mm of material, plus the 4 will give us our center point. So let's say 10mm in, and we'll just mark that there. Look, 10. Okay, that's that one hole, and then we'll do another hole here, which will also be 10mm. Now, I don't think we want the hinge to be what I call a floppy hinge, because there's going to be like a link between these two halves, and it's going to allow this whole thing to move around. Now maybe that might help with getting these engaged. So let's leave it as a floppy hinge for now, and if we need to make one side of the hinge stationary, we can always extend that link and put a second bolt in up here. And that will then, because I don't want any welding on this, because welding is, it's just a pain. Whereas, you know, they can laser cut the holes and just drop the bolts through and job as a carrot. And what we will do is we'll put a radius on the ends of here, like that. And again, all that will just get laser cut when we come to production. And that will allow the whole thing to swivel independently, and hopefully the teeth to lock in. So 10mm, we've got to draw a line where we're going to cut, which we've done. So then we need to do 10mm either side of that and center punch. We can do that. Right, where is my ultimate scriber again? Honestly, I get so many comments about this. So we will set this, we'll 0 it. And again, this is all approximate. It doesn't have to be exact. It'll be exact when the laser cut. When they do me a cut prototype 2 based on this new design. Right, so 10mm. So we need to do 10mm this side, approximately, which is there, and 10mm this side, which is there. Looks pretty good actually. Happy with that. So I'll get my scriber, I've got flat ruler. There we go. I'll stick him across there. Extend the line. I found holding the scriber like this, obviously that's a bit dangerous, but holding the scriber like this, you get a lot more purchase for scribing. Whereas like that, like a pencil, after a while it hurts your fingers, especially when you get old like me. I mean, there are older people, and ones that don't complain as much as me as well. Right, so we need this to centre punch. That's one. Oh, ears are ringing now. 2. Oh, that's pretty good for a guy that can't see anymore. Okay. So we need to drill those, I think just a very small drill bit, and then we can clamp our link bar on, use those 2 holes as a template, and drill the 2 link bars, which I haven't yet made. So the link bars are going to be made out of this. Did they need to be curved? Probably not, but hey, what the hell, you know? Looks cool. So I'm going to make this link bar extra long. Won't cause any harm, I don't think, or will it? Yes, it will. It will. Okay, so I'll have to just make it the normal length. So that's 20. So if we make each one 40, that'll be long enough. 40 approximately. Right, we're going in. Hasn't been used for years, this drill, and this will be the first hole that it will have drilled for a very, very long time. Oh, even the chuck's good. Look at that. That should work. There we are. Yes, you can go with that, can't you? Oh, it's nice and quiet. It feels quite accurate. It's nice to have a pillar drill that's a little less rugged for the more refined jobs. There we go. Right. So now we've got the 2 holes drilled up here, look. We need to clamp on with some more grips one of those link pieces, and we can drill these through in the vise using a hand drill. It's easier. The cows are going mental. Feels pretty good. In fact, I need the excess to be on the outside because this thing's slightly wider than the ring. That feels good. Okay, we're going in. Looks about right to me. So we'll just mark it out. That's one. Take that off. That's pretty good, isn't it? Happy with that. Right, next one. Okay. Extra on the outside, please. Extra on the outside. It's a proof of concept, is what this is. It needs to go slightly further the other way. We're not quite central. It's better. Okay. Excellent. Okay, we're going to stick these in the vise, the pillar drill vise that we have, and we'll drill them through 3mm. No, pillar drill vise was too small, so we're going to have to do it like this again. Hooray! There's no thread on this. It's so old, it never had a thread. So you just got to line it up and hold it while you lock it. Okay, that should work. This is. It's only a 3mm hole, people. It's going to be alright. It likes to make noise, have you noticed? So good. There was no kick or anything. Very well drilled. Right, to the one. That's that one. Now, when I put this in, I've got to make sure there's plenty of clearance for the mole grips, otherwise it will hold it off there. So I'm just putting them on about halfway. He's a numpty, isn't he? Hey, Mr. Ben? There we go. Okay, so are we going to use M6 bolts or M8 bolts? Let's go and see what we've got in the drawer. Okay, so M6. Something with a chamfer would be good. Something like that, you see, that's got a little, it isn't threaded all the way. We can cut the bolt down, that's not a problem. Focus, damn you. So, they're threaded all the way, they're no good. They're all no good. They're longer. So, maybe a couple of those. I think everything else is threaded all the way. It is, so it's going to be those, cut down. Perfect, okay. So that's the M6 option. What about the M8? I've got those. I think there's too much shoulder. Yes, there will be too much shoulder on that. So it looks like it could be M6. I think M6 will be alright for the prototype. We'll do that. So for M6 we will drill a 6mm hole through one of those link plates and through the actual hoop itself, the tool, and on the rear plate we will have to tap M6, so we'll work out whatever size drill bit that's supposed to be. 4.8 is it from memory? Can't remember, I'll look it up. 5mm, I should have known that, I forget, that's my problem. I forget stuff. Okay. Give me my drill bit. Priscilla. Okay, finished with the 3. He goes in there. Now, it is a 5mm for an M6 tap. This one's pretty good, so we'll use this. It's been a long weekend. Not what they call a long weekend in New Zealand, which is 3 days. It hasn't been that, but we've got lots done. There we go. Right, so this one, pen, this is going to be the rear, so I'm going to put an X on it, so we know this is the one to tap. Okay, halfway across the mill grips, give ourselves plenty of room. There we go. Power on, bit of fork spray, not that one, that one. That is ready for tapping. So we'll stick him down there. We'll get the other one. Now we may as well, since we've got the 5mm drill in, we may as well do the 5mm through everything, and then we'll put the 6mm through just the hoop, the tool, the bubble blower, as Mrs. Mechanic calls them. Will that work? Yes, that'll work. Oh, with this spray, you can normally get about 6 cuts before you can spray some more. So alright. Really good. As long as the smoke keeps coming off, you know there's some cutting fluid there. Hold on a minute, we've got a bit of a burn. Bear with me. Right, that's that one done. And now we've just got the hoop to do. rid of the burr. Otherwise it won't drill straight. Okay, so that needs to be 6. That was 5. 5 goes home. Now I think this is a 6. Where's my verniers? Let's have a look. Is it the 6mm? Oh yes, it will be. Look at that, it's near enough. Okay. It is a 6mm drill bit. I don't have a 5.93mm drill bit, just to let you know. It's a very nice chuck. Grips the drill bit really well. I need to go down a bit. Don't do that. There we go. Okay, that's that one done. Okay, now only that one to do. Mr. Margaret, we're running out of time, people. Let's finish this off next week. That should do the trick. Get rid of the burr. Done. I like this. Very nice pillar drill. I'll have to send the gentleman something in return because I do like it. Just so happens this is kicking around the workshop. I've not found a home for it yet. So we will use these, even though I do already have some used taps. Let's see how we get on with these ones from Forge. Okay. So we need a tap holder. The small one will do the trick. And we need M6, which is M6 by 1, and we need a starter tap. I think that one's a starter. Nope, that's the starter in the wrong hole. And that should be a finisher. Nope, that looks pretty much the same. Okay, we'll use this one. This will do the trick. I'll stick him in there. There's a lot of flies around at the moment. I wonder what's died. Usually something's died when there's lots of flies around. Okay, so we're good to go. And we can use the same cutting fluid that we used for drilling. Perfect. Okay, important we not mess this up. A bit in the holes. Okay, we're going in. Now it's important to have it perpendicular to the piece in both planes. Best you can. It's not easy. It's not a particularly big tap, so you can break them quite easily. And it's a brand new set, so I'll be pretty upset. Get it? If I did break one. Always remember to go back just to break off the swarf. You can feel it start to tighten up, so you must do that, otherwise you're more likely to break the tap. Okay, that seems pretty good. Be careful near the end because you can damage the threads when you're bringing it out. There we go. Right, we're halfway. Always keep it at 90 degrees. Probably looks way off on camera, but it's pretty good from where I'm stood. I think Ben's given up. He's gone in for a shower. Don't blame him. There we go. Nice. Good job, Forge. All the way from Germany, these taps. Yeah, so I get some German ones. There we go. Brilliant. Right, put everything away, Andy. Put everything away, otherwise it'll get lost. That way around. Nice. Stick it in there. Perfect. First job. Yep. It's going to make sure that the bolts we selected are actually going to work and they're not going to bottom out on those shoulders. So if we put that on there, stick that through there, stick that through there. We've only got threads. Well, that's all right. That's about halfway through this one. That's cool. Does that one go through? Does it line up? It does. I like it. Okay, and this is our threaded piece. How does that look? Oh, yes. Okay, so I'll get an Allen key. We'll just whiz that down with some oil. Full service spray. Thanks, Forge. That should make it a bit easier. Number 5 Allen key. We can whiz those down all the way, just to make sure that they work properly. I should maybe run a dye down the threads of the bolts. Let's see, if they start to get a bit tight, we'll do that. Okay for now. A bit more spray. Once they've gone through once, they'll be fine. It's just that they're old bolts. They've probably got a little bit of corrosion on them, to be fair. You know, Mrs. Mechanic will probably cut most of this from the video because it's more of just a general, this is what we're up to video, not Andy actually making stuff in detail. But who knows? She might use it for something. Look at that, I just destroyed my nice linishing with my mole grips when I was drilling. That's alright because we've got to re-linish anyway and they're still a bit too big. Okay. So that works just fine. Obviously the excess length of the bolt will be trimmed. And of course they can't be fully tight because this acts as a hinge. But we know that all of this is actually lines up and it all works and fits correctly. So the next job now is tighten the vise. The next job now is to cut the ring, and we can cut it in 2 places and then we can bolt this hinge on and see if it's going to hinge and work. And then I think it'll be time to pack up. Yes, I could put an M5 Allen key in my impact wrench, couldn't I? But I don't know, it just seems wrong using an impact wrench when we're doing a prototype where you want to be careful and considerate and gentle. Oh, I should have done this one, done it more evenly, shouldn't I? Ooh, it's all going swimmingly well. Okay, so we've made the cut. There we go, look, we're all good to go. They're going to focus for you. Probably not. Get rid of Andy's ugly mug. Anyway, not to worry. We are very short of time. I've got 5 minutes of filming left on this phone. So we'll make another cut down here. I think, realistically, anywhere around there will do the trick. So we'll cut across there, and then we can fit the hinge and see if it works. Very quickly, I need to put some radiuses, never very good at English, on these two halves of the joint, because at the moment it won't pivot, will it? Because there's not clearance to allow that. So we'll go and do that now on the linisher. I'm back short. In fact, I'll do that. I'm back shortly because I'm running out of filming time. Stick you in there. Stick him in there. Stick him in there. Right, we'll do that for now. Looks pretty good. Home time.
Home time.
How many Ks?
It's about 210, 220, isn't it?
Into Auckland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
A little bit more, yeah. How long does it take you?
2 hours 20 sometimes.
Don't tell the policeman. It takes me, right, to get to East Tamaki from here, it takes me, the quickest I do it in is like 2 hours 45, and normally 3 hours. I go on the 2. On the, is it 27?
What one that goes through?
Matamata. Yeah. Yeah, I go that way. Ben goes a different way and goes faster.
Well, there's no cops.
There is hiding.
Not on that road.
Anyway, I'm running out of record time. I've got 1 minute 36 seconds of recording time left on my phone. So, enjoy your Japanese stuff.
These are for Beth.
Nice. And text me when you get home, yeah?
Yeah, it'll be about 5 hours from now because I'm stopping in Hamilton to help that chap with the e-bike. He's got an issue which isn't related to what I've done, but he's got an issue. And I'm stopping at Daniel Alvarez's Airbnb to give him his gift before he flies tomorrow.
Holy crap.
So yeah, it'll be about 5 hours before I'm home.
Go home.
Yeah.
Go now. I'll see you in, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
See you. I won't give you a hug because I'm all grubby.
Yeah, and I just showered. So.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
Bye, Ben. Bye. It's another day. I know. I've been busy. I've done 3 days of admin work, and I'm back. And last you saw was this in the vice. Chompy chomp chomp. As you can see, I've done nothing else. I gave up. So I now have a 3D printed plastic primary sheave that replicates exactly what this tool has to fit onto. So let's see if it works. Right, so you come in, and then the tool will go over, and then you drop it down, that's right, into the teeth. So now it's locked in down this side, and then you just close this, and it all lines up brilliantly. It's fantastic. Okay, so we know the tool works pretty well, but it needs to be brilliant. And you can see on here we've got one bolt that's fixed, I rounded this earlier on, and one bolt that's a little bit loose that acts as the pivot, right? Now I think that's going to work loose over time, so we're going to put a second hole here and extend that across, and both those two bolts will be tight. But what we'll also do to allow some adjustment in the tool, partly for manufacturing purposes and partly because the tool might flex a little bit in many years time, we'll make the holes through this hoop slotted. So we can then loosen those two bolts here, remember this is a fictitious one for now, and then move this piece, either way, a couple of mil, independently of the main hoop to align the teeth correctly on the primary sheave. And then when it's bang on, you can just nip those two bolts back up, and it sort of the tool's calibrated, the tool's set up properly to use. Now, I don't need to do that on the prototype. We can do all that on the CAD drawing. It's easy. As regards this end, I do want to put a couple of right angle pieces on there so I can put a pair of mole grips on it to lock the hoop in place, because it's very important that the tech has both hands free to set the torque on the nut. It doesn't want to be worried about holding the tool in place. It should clamp into place and rest on, I think on the 450s it rests on one of the footwell outriggers, so he can let go of that and it's secure and it's clamped into place, and he can just get his big torque wrench and set the torque on the sheave nut, click click, happy days, and then he can take this back off again. Now you might notice there's a little bit of an offset here. It's not quite aligned, and the reason for that is, well, we cut it with a slit disc, and that's the 1.5 millimeters thickness of the slit disc. But that won't harm too much. It doesn't matter if it's got a little bit extra movement. That's going to help it to grip into the sheave and make it a really positive fitment. Okay, so I now need to cut a couple of little bits of metal and weld them on there. Back in a minute. Ooh, what do you think to these? Any ideas what they are? There you go, look. Bit of a side view. So, shall I tell you? Yeah, go on, I'll tell you. Right, so you've got to recognise this bit. This is the receiver part, or the tow bar part that goes into a receiver tow bar hitch. 50 by 50 mil box. And I already had a couple of those, so I used them in the design, to be fair. And then here, there's going to be the ball hitch. Not the ball itself, but the actual hitch is going to bolt to here. And you may ask, why, Andy? Have a think. And it's got some skid feet on there, look. So, it means that on an ROV, and I work on lots of ROVs, I can put the receiver part into the chassis, put the pin in, obviously jack the vehicle up to do that, and then I can take the rear wheels off and the vehicle will be able to stand on its own on these 2 feet. And if I want to move it around, I only have to put the front wheels back on, and then I can use Trevor the tractor with his tow bar hitch. The ball on the extender hitch that we've made will clip into the 50mm coupling, I think the US call them, onto the coupling there, and then I can lift the back of the vehicle up and push it around just like it's a trailer. Absolutely fantastic. So I've been wanting a pair of these for a long time, because I work on lots of ROVs, and these will be very, very helpful. They still need cleaning up, they still need painting, but the hard work is done. Right, I have got 2 little tags. There was some laser cut stuff, remnants that I had, so I've cut them down. I'm going to give them a radius on there and we'll get them welded on. It's been a long day. Now they're a bit hot, so I'll get them cooled down a little bit, but I thought I'd put them together and get them to the radius, to be the same on both. It's a little bit nicer, won't it? Because I am taking this prototype to a laser cutting guy, and everything he does is absolutely perfect. So I don't want to take him something that looks very, very handmade and rough, which it sort of does. But anyway, okay, right. Give me a minute. We'll get these welded on. Okay, that's the outside bit welded. That was the easy bit. Now I need to weld down in this groove. Here, look. Now remember, on the final product, this will all be one piece, and they'll come up with some fancy way of making it all look nice. So I need to grind out down there, weld, and then flat it off with a flat disc. Ooh, that was hot. Jeez. Okay, so very carefully with a slip disc. I love designing tools. I've done it for years and years and years, making things to do stuff. Just like those frames that we saw earlier on, actually. It's quite time consuming. And you always think, oh, I could have made that just a bit better second time round. Well, I can't do that with these ones. See if that's going to catch fire on us. It probably will. Oh, nearly. I just didn't want to get any welding splatter on the tool, that's all. Because I don't Ben's TIG at the moment. How does that look? That's pretty good. Yep, that'll work. Okay, flat disc again. I need 2 rechargeable grinders. I have 2 rechargeable grinders. One of them's broken, and it's in a box, and I haven't fixed it yet. One day, I'll fix it. In fact, when I come to fix it, there'll be no parts, right? Too old, this thing. Too old. Okay. There's always somebody cutting the grass. Need a file. See if we've got much further to go. Pretty good to me. Right, one more to go. think we're there, chaps. Right. Final test. Woo! Oh, can't wait. Looks good to me. Okay, we're going to try and do it from the other side now so you can see the clamp side of it. So, we're going in. So we go under there, like so. That then goes over, drop down, bring in the clamp, or the other half of the tool, and then we need the mill grips. And the mill grips will go on those two pads, like that. Click. And, oh yes, that's really well locked in actually. It's probably the best one yet. Very, very happy with that. And then of course, you know, job done. Click, click, you tighten the nut, whip that off. Ow, ow, ow. On this side, pull that out. Oh, God. Take it off. Job's a carrot. Absolutely. I found a couple of bits of welding splats, so I've cleaned those off. So there you go. This is basically the finished prototype. So bloody happy with it. Obviously going to need to do those slots up here, so it's slightly adjustable. That should work pretty well, I think. We might have to, I don't know, leave more of a gap in the clamp if that's the case, because it will be coming round, but I think we're about there. I think we're there, in actual fact. I think it's going to work really, 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 really well, because the adjustment's only very minor, and there is about 1.5 mm gap on these two pads here to allow for, you know, a bit of clamping. So yeah, look at that, not bad at all, ready for a MIG. Where's the other one? There's one, and there's the other one. Look, and the ones that were hidden, well, you can't tell they're there anymore, can you? Great. So that's going to go up to Auckland tomorrow to Raoul, I think you call him, and he will modify the drawing and make me another prototype, basically, or the bits for one, and I'll have to assemble it and see how we go with that. So we're done. That's it for today. I've got to pack up, go and get Larry the carry because he's gone for his warrant recheck, and get back, and then I've got to load a motorcycle onto the big trailer, which means putting the headboard on the big trailer, which is right down the garden, and then have a shower, and then it's early start in the morning. Got to go all the way to Auckland, pick up some underseal, pick up the 2 hitches for those frames that I've made. They I call them hitches. Couplings, other people call them. I call them hitches. And pick up 2 ROVs and then come all the way home. So about a 550, maybe 600 kilometre round trip with the big trailer. Fun and games. Okay, crew, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, now's a great time to do that. Ring the bell, that way you don't miss out on any new videos. Now you'll also find me on Facebook and Instagram. Feel free to peruse those sites. The Instagram one's quite new because the original one got stolen. If you want to support the channel, you can do. You can do it through PayPal and use the Andy Mechanic email address if you want to send any coin this way. If you do, thank you very much. Or you can become a patron, and there's a link on the main homepage of my channel to get you there. And there's different tiers, you'll work it out. Pretty cool. There's lots of photos and a few videos and bits and pieces on there which are different to what you find on the YouTube channel. Now, if you want to email me, it's the same email address, andymechanic@live.co.uk. Just flick us an email through. Can't guarantee I'll get to you straight away. Pretty busy. I can't guarantee I can give you what you want. I don't have everything and know everything, but I'll do my very best to help. Okay, crew, well, hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, cheers, over and out. And we get the flick up again.
Oh!
Really.